Post-game time. Deciding to actually sit down for once on this one. It's not a bad idea, actually.
Get off the feet.
I'm so used to just standing on my feet all day. Necrons. New Necron Codex, 10th edition. I was excited for it. I mean, I think all of us kind of were in a lot of ways. Well, not Josh wasn't.
Yep.
But like some winners, some losers. Do you want to talk about the game first or the Codex first?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay.
It's not going to be a full review. It's going to be, like, if you had watched another view already, you will understand what we're going to say a lot more.
Yeah.
We'll try and be clear, though.
So I'll just say real quick how I feel about the Codex. I'm excited to play the Necrons for the first time in a while.
Well, this
when I get around to it. That's what I'm saying.
I've said it in lots of videos of Necrons before, since 10th has come out a few months ago now. But this edition was the first time Necrons actually felt like Necrons. To me, who've been playing Necrons for 24 years of Necrons, since 7th edition was questionable-ish.
Okay,
they still had a lot of the familiar elements, but I hated the feel. The feel.
Yeah, that's where I started, so it's hard for me to go back and talk about older editions.
I'm
excited for the new things, the new detachments.
I played them at the tail end of 2nd. 3rd edition was probably one of my favorite codexes, the phase-out rule. And then they got updated in 5th edition. They lost the phase-out rule. I was a little disappointed, but they had a lot of cool tools there too. I liked the big power codex and then the big major drawback. That's an old school.
I gotta pull you into this game because I think the question I have for you, and I think the audience will have too, is first codex, new codex comes out. Your first game you do is the original Dynasty.
Why? Well, that's the one. I was about to say that's the one I played a lot before. That was the only one available.
Of course.
Yeah, but it's the one that plays Necrons the most traditionally. That is how you build an Awakened Dynasty. How Necrons would have played in all of the editions before it.
Okay.
It is the Silvertide detachment.
Do you think? I want you to go over like the few changes, but do you think that's the one you're gonna want to like after this game? Do you like the changes? Do you like what happened with the Dynasty? Or what's it called? The Awakened Dynasty.
The Awakened Dynasty.
Do you like it? Are you happy? Does it feel different?
The basic effect is the same.
Yeah.
What I should say, it's the Royal Court. It was the Royal Court Silvertide Dynasty.
But your stratagems got changed.
Yes, some of them did. For the bet, okay. So the first one, Vengeful Stars, big, massive change to Vengeful Stars. That used to be you shoot me, I lose one model, and I shoot you back. That was really nasty for Locust Destroyers. No one would shoot Locust Destroyers because of it. That did not promote good gameplay.
Sure.
If I'm going to be blunt, that was kind of over the top, didn't need to exist. Now they have a more appropriate one where it's if you destroy one of my units and I have a unit with a character within 6, that unit with a character within 6 that I choose, then Vengeful Stars. That makes a little bit more sense, right?
Yep.
And it's also 2 command points. So like what you'd want to do with that is like, you can still make the Locust Destroyers do. You just put like a couple, like 3-man Tomb Blade units beside them or something. And if you want to kill my Tomb Blades, then I shoot you with my Locust Destroyers.
You can still... it can still work very well. I shouldn't be talking about this, but you have a single heavy Locust Destroyer. I know you don't like them.
Yeah.
I go to take that out, and they're standing right next to
that would be a good way to do it.
It actually, in some weird situations, it can be more powerful that way. Okay.
You just convinced me that they have a lot more value than I thought they did.
I love heavy Locust Destroyers in singles, too. So, okay, there's 2 big questions I have for you. Well, there's 3 big questions I have for you this game. But one... the way the stratagems were, the ones that got changed, did you ever run into a situation in this game where you wanted it to work the old way? In this game?
The only time it would have mattered was when you initially... did you ever shoot my Locust Destroyers with last cannons?
No. Wasn't able to.
It wouldn't have worked against that unit because they can stay outside of my 24 anyways.
Yep.
So that one, because like all it would have done is you would have just not shot me with your pistols and stuff. Over there, when you shot my Immortals with your Chaos Space Marines, I'm like, I got Vengeful Stars. Like, okay, I won't shoot. You just take away gameplay from your opponent. That's not a good thing.
That leads into my next question, the Immortals. I think we already know what you're going to say.
I'm just not. I've never been an Immortal, man. Ever since they've come out. They came out in 3rd edition. I never liked them.
Same.
I don't know why. They just don't. And I can't explain it. It's just like every time I use them in all my games, they end up falling into a role that I would just use warriors instead.
No, I actually thoroughly agree. I know there are some competitive people who think otherwise. I don't understand it. I don't see it. Whatever job you want, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
It's like you have to build a list around the Immortals, and I don't want to do that.
So I find like they're just slightly...
You need something to screen
So your basic warrior and your Immortal is the same thing, but one's quality. Except for that quality costs more points and doesn't really do the extra points worth of stuff. Like, it doesn't survive.
Like they have great firepower. You're paying more for like
firepower,
but they have better firepower with the Plasmancer. But you have like Locust Destroyers and stuff. Like because like they're kind of doing the role that you want the Locust Destroyer to do, but they have less mobility. They don't have fly. The Locust Destroyers have a better gun. Obviously, the Locust Destroyers are going to be more expensive, but like. Because then you buy things to screen for the Locust Destroyers. But if they're filling the same role as the Locust Destroyers, you're trying to build something that's going to screen for the Immortals. And then you're looking at like Scarabs and stuff, which aren't bad by all means. But then you're trying to build around the Immortals. And like that's what I kind of wanted to do this game, but I failed in my list build. Yeah. So my Immortals ended up being the tar pits that I didn't want them to be. Because, again, when you're playing 40K, you're often going to be playing on tables like this where you're just not going to get shots right away. And those Immortals want to be 2 feet away.
I felt like the Immortals as a tar pit were doing the thing you wanted to do, but when I got them just every time.
Yeah. So imagine there's 20 models.
If they were just warriors, maybe I wouldn't have got them.
Not if they were 20, no.
But either way, I have one more question, and then I get into the actual post-game stuff, which will lead into I'll let you do your thing. Okay.
There was one more strat that was heavily changed, too. There's actually two. One of them is it was called I can't remember the name of it before. It's one when your infantry characters die, they'd come back. The previous one in the index is kind of poorly written. They would die and immediately come back. So like if someone was shooting your unit, another unit could just shoot it. Now they've changed it to come back at the end of phase. Way better.
Fair.
So that character can kind of still come back. And the other one was... Conquering Tyrant. That's what I'm thinking of. If you're in half range, you got to reroll all wound rolls for a shooting attack. And then if you had a character in the unit, it didn't matter what your range was. It was just pick a unit, full reroll the wound. Very powerful.
Yeah, that's
they changed that to reroll hit rolls of 1 if you're in half range, but if you have a character, it's full rerolls to hit. So I think
which
to myself,
could be better for warriors.
Better for warriors because it got lethal hits.
Yeah.
Yes. So you just got full reroll to hit, and if they have like a lord in there with an orb, full reroll to hit at half range, like lethals on 6s, or even a Plasmancer. Make some lethals.
That's what I was going to say. That makes the Plasmancer interesting. But I have 60 warriors assembled with Reapers, and you don't want to do that with Reapers.
6-inch range. Yeah.
Because it's 6-inch. Yeah.
6-inch.
Well, it's 12-inch range, but half for that.
Yeah. For the reroll.
So I have one more question before I get into...
I'm iffy on that one, but the other one was too powerful. So.
I have one more question before we get into the actual post game, because my next question will affect the actual part of the post game I want to talk about. Lychguard. No, they're fine. They're totally fine. Are you at all interested in War Scythe Lychguard now? Are you still about the shield?
I brought the shield because it was a familiar build.
Yep.
The War Scythe in this matchup would have been oodles better because the Lychguard are kind of built to be as a super durable brick, but then a smart opponent they'll just ignore them, right? So then why am I taking these shields if they're going to be ignored? So I think the trick and the trap might be to take the War Scythe. The trick, make them think that maybe I will attack them. Now, there are some matchups where that invuln save is mandatory, but it's only some matchups. Yes. So what I will say, if you can mix the weapons, not that they have been able to do that for they've never really been able to do that, but like that'd be spicy. But the only other dynasty that I'm kind of interested in playing is the leadership one, it's the noble one. So you have it's all about your characters and their honor.
Not for me, but yeah.
Triarch Stalkers, Lychguard builds. So that one is that'd be a nasty list, but it's like a triple Lychguard list, absolutely, with an Overlord. So, you would probably want to do a bunch of Overlords, but narratively, you'd have one Overlord and then a bunch of Lords as their Royal Court.
The idea of the War Scythe actually is pretty good for the damage, but let me explain to you why this game, I'm pretty confident you won, because you had the Shield Lychguard.
Because they wouldn't have mattered against the Possessed too much, but you would have want to put more attacks in them.
All right, so there's a point in the game where my Lord Discord went and charged your Reanimator. One, I should have killed that. Not killing that was a huge point swing the wrong way.
Yeah.
But that's Warhammer. I'm okay with that. I was fine. But if you had War Scythes on that Lychguard unit, I never would have declared that charge because I know you would have heroic intervene. There's no point going up. You would have cut him up like nothing. Yeah. Now I was willing to risk it because I thought odds were in my favor. I was going to survive.
I was iffy on it.
Yeah.
I knew it was all going to come down. I did the math. I'm like, it's going to come down to the Lord. You can't do the math on a character's attacks.
I know, because it's not enough dice to go on averages.
But when you have 30 attacks from Lychguard, I'm like, okay, they're going to do about 8 damage.
I think you killing my Disco Lord, and it was literally was the big swing in the game. Because at that point, I wasn't even out of the game.
No, not at all.
We played a lot of good Warhammer after that, but think about the changes if that guy survived.
I'm trying to
have to deal with him for one more turn.
Different game, yeah. Because I would have had to charge that way. But I would have had the Reanimator still. I don't know if that would have mattered. But I would have.
You would have the reanimators. You would have, but I'm saying, but you would have one more turn on your turn.
Yeah.
Those Lychguard would have been fighting my Disco Lord, not killing the squishy bug.
I might have been bowling on for both with the. It depends where you put them. You probably wouldn't let me charge both.
Maybe I would have. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard when you go to the alternate universe and whatever.
But you also did draw the card to go for the vehicle class. That's why you mainly went for him.
For sure. No. I'm talking about. I've committed myself. I went for your reanimator.
Yeah.
I whiffed. Not that I whiffed. You rolled a lot of 4 in Philippines. That's what happened. That's okay.
It's a weird model. 4 feel no pain on that thing. You don't expect it, right?
The thing is,
what are they trying to do with that?
The 4 feel no pain. To be realistic. 4-up feel no pain is going to keep it alive from assassination attempts from melee, because melee is so heavily nerfed in the game as it is.
Yeah.
But like 4 last cannons are still going to kill that thing.
I was really kicking myself in the butt when I could have just moved a little bit more in the cover.
I would have let you take it.
I know, but I made the mistake, right? So I rolled 2 5s to save. I'm like, God dang it, man, that was close.
Because we did the math already, but I rolled only. He's okay. He's talking about when my Havoc shot at the reanimator that wasn't in cover, which it could have been.
I could have just moved it a little bit more.
So I had 4 last cannons go through, but he could have been in cover. It would have been only 2 that went through. I rolled a 9 hit for damage, would have been 11 damage, which means average dice he would have survived.
Yeah.
And that would have been rough for me. In fact, if after whiffing against the other reanimator and then that one, that would have been probably game for me. I would have.
That would have felt kind of rough.
I would have mentally conceded.
Yes. So I'm excited to try the new Dynasty out too with all the characters and nobles, but I think it's gonna be a little too oppressive.
What's your prediction?
I think it's gonna be way too oppressive.
You think so?
Yeah. Well,
I'm talking. I don't know what it's called. Hold on.
It's got a fancy name. They also changed up all the enhancement names for the Awakened Dynasty too. They do the same thing, but they're different names for some reason. I don't know. Sempiternal Weave was easy to remember. Now it's
sorry. Oh yeah.
The Enemic Play.
There are 2 types of really powerful lists. There are types of really powerful lists that are competitive lists played by the big GT guys who know what they're doing.
Oh, absolutely.
Those are powerful lists. And then there's the oppressively powerful list at your local friendly gaming store or whatever, where you bring it and nobody wants to play against you. But if you brought it to the GT, those guys can pick you apart.
Yeah.
I'm calling right now the Hypercrypt Legion is going to be that thing for sure. It's going to be the thing that nobody wants to play against in the local store.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just going to be.
I didn't even read it. No, that's the teleporty one.
That's the teleporty one. That's where you're going to spam.
I read that one.
You're going to spam Catan.
You're Grey Knights. You're playing Grey Knights.
And you're just constantly redeploying Catan down your opponent's face.
That'd be annoying. That'd be annoying.
It would be. I think it would be unfun to play against. And if you ever see me do a battle report where I'm playing it, which you're going to, I will make sure my opponent knows beforehand exactly what it does.
You don't have to teleport Catan though.
No. I want to try that. I want to try that once. So you could play this list. I think it's meant to be played with. It's definitely meant to be played with monoliths and
It's warriors. That whole list is the repositioning Necron thing.
I think Necrons.
Yeah,
that's Necrons in my.
Well, I agree because they've always kind of had that going through the years. Is like a lot of you could pull units from here, put them near the monolith pulls them out of reserve, and you swap between monoliths.
I just want to play a monolith, a bunch of 10-man warrior squads, and knight scythes.
Yeah, that was always a Necron build you used to be able to do, even if going back years. So that's one I never really got into, but I always kind of dabbled with a little bit. I'm not a mobile guy. I don't like mobility. It's I love anvils. I love getting into a position, hunkering down and holding that position as long as I can, and not moving far from there.
Lychguard do a pretty good job of.
That's why that's a preference. That's just for me. Yeah. Which I like to see that the Necrons have a lot of different viable builds. I'd say you could. Like, kind of part of me wants to build, like, did I like the Tomb Blades in this list? Not really. They were okay. They helped. Sure, they did things.
You know what?
Yeah.
Here's from the other guy on the table. Yeah. The second I shot the 2 blades, like, oh, they're squishy.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, they're squishy.
Yeah.
Why give me a squishy target?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or you look at it, I give my opponent a squishy target so they feel like they're playing the game.
It's true too. I don't know how I felt about the Tomb Blades. I would think.
I don't know if
I was to do Awakened Dynasty, I might just drop them because I can just put those points into Scarabs. I really like Scarabs. I was a little disappointed.
Oh, why?
Oh, they're nostalgia.
Okay, I love that answer.
Scarabs have they're still useful now too, and they got a nice update in the book too, where they get objective control 1 if they're near 6 inches of a crypt tech. So it's like it's okay. They didn't have it before. It will be usable now, and it will win you games because Scarabs also reduce the OC of the enemy.
True.
So you just Scarabs actively take objectives away now. very well.
Okay.
You just have to have a cryptic.
I wish
nearby.
that ability, I said this to you before, I wish
Yeah.
that ability was not being within 6 of a cryptek, it was being within 6 of a spider.
Oh, a Canoptek spider?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know why.
Those
I would
things
just-
go
I
down
would
like
just-
punks.
Do they?
Yeah. You look at them on paper and you're like, wow, that thing's like surprisingly durable. I don't know why.
Fair enough. I think if you want to kill anything in this game, you can pretty much do that, except for Necron Warriors.
Necron Warriors. Well, see, there's 20 wounds. It's hard. How do you chew through 20 wounds, right? It's
At least they're not going to reanimate as fast.
They did. So the Necron Warrior. Oh, you see, they were smart with how they reworked it because their reanimate before was D3+3 on an objective or just D6 out in the open. Because they're not always. They try to get to it, but they're slow, and a good opponent will keep them away from an objective, right? So what's better, D6 or real D3? D6 has a higher spread, but the D3 is more consistent high end. So you're definitely going to get like 2 more likely than 1. The D6 you just keep hitting.
No, I'll take the D6.
Of course you would, but like but what I'm saying is it need to be reined in, and the reroll with D3 is not a bad option.
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Plus with
for some people, it was unfun to play against Warriors.
Well, you just
Now they're
mathematically
not-
did not have the attacks to kill them.
Now it's like, yeah, it's fine.
Out of all the games of the indexed Necrons I played, I lost a brick of 20 Warriors. Now, granted, this brick of 20 Warriors also has a Technomancer in it, the old Crypto Thralls, which are a little abusive because they had a feel no pain, and they could eat wounds and save. Say you or me. So you're okay. And then they have a Lord with a Res Orb, so they're reanimating a whole bunch.
Hey, Ben, we're recording a video right now.
Oh, is it not Big Ben, Little Ben. Big Ben hasn't been around for a bit.
We're recording a video right now.
You guys remember Ben?
I'm doing a
Plays on-
post-game with Luka.
Plays on Steve's channel, Mountain Miniatures. Plays Sisters Battle.
So let's wrap up this video.
Miracle Dice guy.
Oh, okay, you're good.
Yeah. Great attitude.
Sorry, everybody. That's my next game is here.
Yeah, he's literally playing a game after this one. What was I going to say? The Warriors. So granted, they had a lot more durability built into them, but I lost them one time to Dante, 10 Sanguinary Guard, and 10 Death Company. Barely killed them.
Barely?
Over a long period of time.
Let me tell you about the feel bad moment in this game. I don't even think you can guess what it is. What do you think was the feel bad moment for me in this game?
That I did a Necron, that the Necrons did a Necron thing?
Yeah.
And you were like, Necrons.
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably subtle. Because there's just so many little things. It wasn't the Lychguard, was it? No, later on in the game when like you fought them, I did the strat, then D6. That's something I rolled
100% that was it. Let me explain. So, the game's over. Luka has mathematically won the game. He's wrapping up. He's finishing up.
Oh, see, in my mind, it wasn't over yet. Because I took a lot of damage.
If you glanced over the score sheet, you would have known.
We were so close. We were 4-point difference or whatever. Up until that point.
Right, but then I had another turn to play with no malls to score
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
So you knew you were going to get 8 minimum. Minimum. Anyways, he sends in his Lychguard to kill off my Greater Possessed.
Everything but the Possessed.
He takes casualties. So he had to take a useful tool of his to cripple me and end me, win the game by taking casualties on his Lychguard. Yeah. And it worked. It was a good payoff for him. He took the hits, and he immediately at that moment won the game. But then he put a bunch of Lychguard back on the table. So he didn't even... even if I had another unit, I can go hit them, do some more damage to him. It didn't even matter. He ended up with more than he left with from doing the risk. It was just like, oh, that was Lychguard. Even though the game's over and he had to take hits on them to secure the victory, there's still a bunch more coming back. So even if I had more things, I couldn't deal with them.
Well, that's the Res Orb was so nice. If I had a Reanimator there too, that would have been an extra 2d3 there. But that Reanimator died to the stupid Legionnaires at the end there, the Sorcerer.
I love your tertiaries, but I'm adding one more to my painted convolution thing. Lychguard are not allowed to reanimate in the game.
No more reanimating.
You know what? Let me adjust that. Luka's not allowed to reanimate.
Oh, I don't know. I'm happy with them. So what I was going to say is the next. I don't know if I'll do Tomb Blaze, but the next Dynasty I'm playing is definitely the Overlord one. I'm going to keep it on theme.
Are you excited for that one? Do you think you're going to like that one more than this one?
It's got a lot of cool dueling mechanics.
Okay, I'm happy that you found another one you like.
Well, but it's going to be a full. It's like the way I'm going to play it is. I'm trying to think of the word right now. It's like the nobility of the dynasty has gone. They're at the front. They're at war. So it's like the Overlord. Yeah. It's going to be like the Nemesaur essentially, or the Overlord, the prince of the Dynast, or the Dynast himself. Who knows? Whatever, right? And then he's going to have his lieutenants with him, so a bunch of lords with orbs. Oh. And then and they're all going to be in Lychguard units.
If I get a chance to play you,
Triarch.
I will take my orc. hero lists against your Necron hero list is one character, one unit. One character, one unit. No units without a character. No characters without a unit.
Yeah.
And we'll go in and I'll put it against those Necrons. We'll wall our way through.
So essentially, I like the changes to the Awakened Dynasty.
Good.
It plays.
Oh wait, really? They're all negatives.
No, no, you can't. Don't look at them as negatives. Look at them as like you and your opponent are going to play the game. You have to look at like the only things they changed were that took out the lack of interaction in the game.
Okay, so I want to say that's a good attitude to have. You are you are saying things that is positive for the game, but objectively, they're only negatives to that.
They're well, no. See, you got to look at it this way. They're not nerfs. The previous abilities were over the top, overtuned.
Yeah, sometimes. So that's why you have to nerf them.
Yes. Well, they should have never been that
but
way.
But they are negatives. What I'm not saying I'm not saying that detachment is now bad and unplayable. I'm not saying that, but they are objectively.
It was worse than it was before, but it should have never existed in this way before.
Just keep up here, or keep up here. Being like you keep up what I'm trying to say here. I think the Space Marine Codex as a whole, as an overall nerf from what it was before it came out, but they are doing better than the meta.
Yeah.
Because there's enough different things they play differently, like the nerf to Oath of Moment.
Yeah.
It's a hit, but they're doing better because all the other cool things they can do.
Yeah,
so it's a
options.
nerf in that regard. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying here.
Yeah, like the reanimation protocol.
Oh, that's what I'm asking here. Not saying I'm asking here. Because what do you net?
What do you?
If you're gonna play Awakened Dynasty, are you gaining anything that you've noticed so far?
So you have to play. See, the Awakened Dynasty
other than friends.
The Awakened Dynasty is more of a mix of an MSU and a maxed out unit build now, which is nice. It's just complete. So the old Awakened Dynasty, people just max out units, and that was it. Because all it interacted with was losing models and units, but now it interacts with that and losing entire units. So now you actually have reasons to bring the individual big destroyers now, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Hex marks they were valuable before. They're valuable even more so now because like you park things near a big unit of locust destroyers, and it's like, what are you gonna do? Let this heavy destroyer shoot you all game, or are you gonna kill it and let me shoot you with my locust destroyers, right? Stuff like that. Like it has a little bit more interaction in your own list building, and your opponent has more decisions to make as opposed to like. Before it's like, well, I got to deal with those locust destroyers, but I don't have any guns that are longer than 24-inch range to deal with them, so I guess they're free to shoot me all they want now because I can't interact with them.
You just gonna charge them.
Yeah. You know, what do you think of the Lord in there with the scythe, just like defending them? He's so good.
You know what? Like I had to tag them.
Yeah.
Honestly, okay. So that was about the post game thing too. That 8-inch charge I got on my Chaos Warriors, tagging the.
That was big.
Without getting that is another moment where Luka would have won the game.
They would have.
Because you would have been behind me. They would have killed one of my units, and they would have been on my home objective.
Yeah,
I would have got a whole lot less points in this game, and I would have had even less things to play earlier. So that making that charge early kept me in the game, even though.
Well, those are the good moments, though, right?
But yeah. So what I think about Lucas? What I think about the War Scythe? Yeah. It was. I accept I was going to lose models. It was the War Scythe, but it was.
It's 4 attacks, 2s, and strength 8. Yeah. Two AP 3. It's
2 or 3 of my guys have to take one for the team a turn just to keep those guys here and not teleporting on the other side of the table. But
because they're still technically they're not killing models as efficiently, but it's a thick little unit. They have the Res Orb to use. I love that the Res Orb is once per game now.
My issue with him is the model is older than I think you.
Yeah, well, no, it's not older than me. He didn't exist when I was playing Necrons.
He's older than me. I'm really.
I think he came out in 3rd edition.
I refused to buy that model. He's too old enough.
Was it 5th when no? Because the destroyers in 2nd edition were just bikes. They were just like little jet bikes. Yeah.
Destroyers there's a new model for them, right?
No, only the Locust Heavy.
Only the Heavy?
Only the Heavy got a new model. Yeah.
Oh.
So this edition.
I will never use this squad. They're too old.
It's a good squad though.
I know, but no.
They
not until they come up with the new models.
Yeah, they give you mobile mid close quarter fire support. Like on tables, like when you're playing on like really dense tables, you just don't get much value out of like big long range guns. Sometimes, right? Then that's a good thing.
Well, I try to put a lot of terrain on the table these days to block. Like, I mean, we played till turn 5 because all the terrain on the table.
Yeah, there was no overwhelming like shooting, right? And like those Immortals could have been nasty if they were just running into their guns the whole time. They with the Plasmancers and all that.
True, I guess it did hit you as much as it hit me.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to think of like what else.
Oh, I guess even the Tomb Blades. I mean, you know what? Arguably, it hit you more than it hit me.
Oh, yeah, I felt it. I definitely felt it. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't put as much strain as I do, right?
I try not to because it's better for the game. but it's always like kind of ruin things. So like I like to play outside of like cities. Like it's typically
it's always the ruin thing. Yeah.
I like the dynamic of playing with different levels of debris and stuff like that. Like open field. I love open field trench games. I love it. Just trenches. That's it. Nothing in the way. You just run.
I hate setting that up, but I understand.
Yeah. It looks cool. It looks dynamic, and you just have to agree with your opponent beforehand to like have like a lot of firing, but like, bolters and stuff like that. Stuff that isn't that significant. That doesn't matter too much, right? You don't need like 50 like super like last cannon teams or whatever on the table. I don't know. You guys know what I mean. But I don't know. I'm disappointed with the Immortals, but again, I didn't build the list around them. And I think like if I was to go, say, drop the Tomb Blades, if I had to remake this list right now and reinforce the Immortals and like go into them a little more, I would drop the Tomb Blades. And those would become Scarabs or something.
Or 3-man squads that their job isn't to shoot, the job is to score.
Do actions, yeah. I would do that. Definitely give them stealth next time. I don't care what they
Scarabs can do that job better.
Scarabs can do actions.
Cheaper.
Yes, for cheaper. So I would drop the Tomb Blades, I think, completely and run Scarabs and just push out my lines of Scarabs and like have the Immortals.
That might have been frustrating for me today. Yeah, that would have been better.
But that's what I usually do. But I've been saying my Necron videos for a while. I got to give Tomb Blades a try. I
need people in the comments to tell us what we're missing about Immortals.
No, you know what? They might just be fine. You just have to build a list for them.
I don't know what that means. I don't see any
a lot more screen. Yeah.
But
they have a good fight.
No, they're in the screen. They're in the category of this is one of my screens.
They are.
I'm not going to have to. I don't want my screens for my screens.
That's kind of. They're no longer screens. They're effectively legionnaires.
Are they guns? Are they gunners? Do you really think the firepower?
Well, let's realistically the Tesla carbine is a nice assault weapon. It's 2 shots, sustained 2. With the Plasmancer, it's on 5s. And if you get within half range, you reroll all your hit rolls. And you're just looking at like. How many hits is that on a reroll?
Yeah.
That's a lot of firepower. Okay. 5. And then those guys over there have lethal.
What's the range on that gun? 24? Or is it less?
They reduced it to 18 in the index, and I think they made it 24 again. The Immortals. It should be 24 again. So I was happy they did that. But I didn't really get a chance to use it too much here because
Are Immortals before Warriors?
No, they're same page. They're below.
Oh, yeah.
They're there.
24. So you get within.
They were 18. They buffed them to 24 again. They were kind of worthless at 18.
Sustain 2, strength 5.
You need a Plasmancer though, but it makes them hit on 2s too with the Awakened Dynasty. So they hit on 2s. 4
and reroll through an objective. You know what?
Yeah, that's.
You know what? I'm gonna like that. I'm gonna like Tesla Immortals with my. I can't.
The teleporty guys.
The teleporty detachment.
Yeah, the Grey Knights.
The Grey Knights. No,
the Necron.
The silvery undead knights.
Translocate. It's like translocation, crypt. I don't know what it is.
Let me just say it again.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to...
It's like in the beginning, yeah. Anyways, I will give Immortals another try. I think there's a lot of value in them, but it's more like build a list around Immortals.
The Hyper Crypt Legion.
Hyper Crypt Legion. Yeah, they're just all over the place. But yeah, if you have Scarabs pushing out the lines, you can even have like squads of 10 Necron Warriors acting as like cheap screens too, technically. Just send them out to die for whatever reason. They go. They're the ones who go out initially to grab your objectives, and whatnot. So yeah, I got to give them another shot. But I think going forward, I'm going to go with my. I definitely want to try 20-man Bricks of Warriors again and see if they can survive.
Have you tried a game in 10th edition without Lychguard? I challenge you.
I have because I did an all vehicle game.
Was that good?
It was okay. Annihilation barges are kind of cute.
Do you remember that game? This is off topic. Remember that game of it was 9th edition. We were playing Necrons versus my firstborn only Dark Angels, and you kept saying, "I'm sorry," because you Scarabs ran forward, and then I never left my opponents on your table with me.
Oh, that was the
that
was the beginning of 9th edition.
Yeah.
That was the Eternal Conquerors and expansion of stupid nonsense. I remember. I still to this day I won't forget that. I was reviewing the book. Live, not live, but I was recording it live, and I'm flipping through, I'm like talking about the dynasties, I'm like, oh, these are kind of cool, I like these dynasties, these are fun, and then I flip to the custom dynasty ones, let's see what they wrote for the Necrons. I go through them all, I'm like, everything's OBSEC, what? And then
everything is a move.
And then everything is a pre-game move. I remember laughing for about 5 to 10 seconds straight, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess that's what everyone's gonna, and then I was doing the review, and I was getting more disappointed with the review because I'm like, oh, these guys would be cool in Sawtech. I'm like, oh, but they're better in this. They're better in the stupid custom.
It is better these books don't have that. These 10th edition books, we now have 4.
Yep. Yep.
They are the best iteration of books I've seen in probably my lifetime. I did like...
The idea was sound. The idea for the custom dynasties, custom chapters, regiments was sound, and I liked it.
It turned out
players ruined it. Like
the only thing that happened was everybody played
did.
blue Iron Hands and green Iron Hands and blue. I'm sorry, where they had yellow Death Skulls and red Death Skulls.
I don't understand. Like, why? Like, I remember back in the day,
gamers are always going to gravitate to the best one.
Not necessarily.
You know how many times I screamed Death Skulls? Even I was guilty of it. Death Skulls was the best one to play. I screamed Death Skulls. Death Skulls! As I re-rolled my dice and had a good time.
With your bad moons?
With my bad moons.
With your bad moons, yeah.
Moon Skulls!
Well, I just remember playing, and it might be anecdotal, but freaking... going to my local game store, before I worked here, we're playing, and all the Marines had unique rules. I remember the Iron Hands were really good. They had the Feel No Pain, and you could stack it with your Apothecary and everything, and they put them on bikes because they were toughness 5. But I would play against Ultramarine players who just played Ultramarines. Even though the Iron Hand rules were available to them, they just played Ultramarines. And there was like a weird... And the Tyranids weren't doing great, but I'd play against Mark at the time, and he would just play Tyranids however they... It's like, he wouldn't run triple Hive Tyrant. He would just play Tyranids. Didn't need to... But yeah, he had 3 Hive Tyrants. He just said it felt wrong.
Yeah, so Matt was the same. Matt would never get a third or even a second winged Hive Tyrant.
Now, granted, that still exists. I'm just generalizing, of course. But I feel more and more people are I know they're not playing it that way, but that's the best rules.
I like the way it is now. I like playing my Ultramanders.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because they just give them... It's a way smarter way of doing it.
It is a way smarter way.
Way smarter way of doing it now. Because obviously you could look at these Necron detachments and be like, oh, the fighty one is the Nova.
You know what's messed up? This is a little off topic, but it's kind of on topic. I have Snickrot and for my orc, Snickrot and Zagstruck all painted my Bad Moon colors. Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
right?
well, you painted your Immotech in your custom.
Yeah. But my Immotech is painted in my custom red color. Name characters from my Drukari and the Dark Craft World, they're always painted in the color I wanted.
Yeah.
But my Space Marines, obviously not. You know what I'm going to do though? Because Vulcan Heaston is a really good model in 10th edition.
Oh, like the Primaris Vulcan?
No, he's not Primaris. I'm actually.
I thought it was Primaris.
No, I think you're talking about Adrax Akatone.
Yes.
He's also a good model.
Adrax, yeah.
I'm actually probably...
Vulcan Stan, eh? You still got rules?
I'm going to buy a Vulcan. This is going to piss people off, I understand. I'm going to buy a Vulcan.
Paint blue, aren't you?
Paint him blue.
Oh.
Because it doesn't matter no more.
No.
Why is that the community accepted for all the Xenos races?
I don't think it is accepted.
I'm going to get
He's just saying it's accepted.
I'm going to get, what's his name? Abaddon for my Iron Warriors. He's going to have Iron Warrior colors. Screw it. I'm going to have a blue Vulcan and a blue Adrax Agatone. I'm going to have a blue Khan
Even
as
your
well.
Immotech, I seen him like that bothered me. It bothers people. It does.
I knocked off my mic.
It's not accepted. Boo! Boo! Where'd your mic go? It's gone? That was probably loud.
Found it.
I wonder if the mics are still working. That's good. The battery was suspiciously low on them.
Oh, it's facing the other way. How do you know it's working?
Well, I can see the thing bouncing well enough.
If that mic on top dies, the internal camera mic takes over.
It's true, it does, but those seem to be bouncing very nice, very well.
So
yeah,
but I mean, support me in the comments that it's my hobby and I can do it anyway.
You can. I would never say no to it, but I'd still say
there might be a bold white U on his shoulder to say, "You, sir, are special, and you belong in Steve's army."
Ain't no rule against it. It's wrong. It's just wrong. Just play. Oh, but you like the fiery build, so you like the flame.
No.
Is it Firestorm or Doubt or whatever? I don't know.
Rules as written, it's totally fine, right? I'm not allowed to bring Vulcan and the Khan in the same list. Yeah. I can't bring Vulcan and Urinal Ventress in the same list.
Yeah.
But I will have my blue Vulcan and my blue Adrax Agatone. Maybe my blue Lysander.
Okay, well, luckily I don't really have to play against that.
I will also exclusively play this against Luka whenever he and I play each other once every 6 months.
I will say I like, so far, all the 4 codex. I haven't looked at the AdMech.
I'm really doing this.
I haven't looked at the AdMech.
I don't understand the AdMech one, man. It's beep boop. I don't get it.
Have you looked at it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't look at it.
I don't get it.
All right, fair. Well,
I'll leave that up to Ben.
Is it complicated looking?
No, I just don't get AdMech.
Oh, well, how many detachments do they have in there?
I honestly didn't even. I read them, didn't retain any of it, and didn't count.
Was there like 4? More than 4? Less than 4? The Necrons.
I don't recall.
I would assume 4-ish.
I think it was 5 for Necrons, right?
They have 5? They have the Annihilation Legion, Cryptek one, the Awakened Dynasty, the Teleported one. Yeah, 5. Yeah, and then they have the Honorable Combat.
7 for Space Marines, 6 for Tyranids.
Okay, well they make. I am not surprised by any of the Necron ones. Actually, I was surprised there wasn't a. Nope, they're all there.
I was
there.
unimpressed with the Cryptek one, but I have to try. I don't have the models for it, but I'd like to try it.
I don't care about the
I love the teleporting one. It's just the hyper phase, hyper focus, hyper translocation phase.
Yep. They're all
Legion.
They're all super on theme. They're all exactly how Necrons have kind of always played. The teleporting stuff has always been a thing they've had available. They've always had access to like full. What's it called? Annihilation Legion, like the Destroyer Cult. Lots of people played only Destroyer Cult. That was like a thing people like to do. And then the Noble one's kind of like a Royal Court one, but I always looked at the Awakened Dynasty as the Noble Court one, Royal Court one. They're both the same, whatever. One's more character focused, one's more unit, like infantry kind of focused. But they both need characters, weirdly enough. And then what was the last one? The teleporting, the Cryptek one. People like
no, it's not Cryptek. It's supposed to be
it's Canoptek one.
It's supposed to be the monolith one. Usually the teleporting one.
Oh, I thought about the Canoptek.
Oh yeah.
The people like Canoptek stuff. I only like Scarabs typically. So
we need more Canoptek units. I think
there's a lot.
Not enough for Steve.
Okay, fair. Steve needs more.
Steve needs more.
There's a lot of Forge World ones.
Oh, that's true. Actually, Forge World doesn't exist anymore. It's what's this guy? It's this Games Workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like the Sentinels.
I don't know if we're saying anything important anymore.
No, you guys can go and do something else now if you want. We're done. We got nothing else to add.
We're going to keep going until the batteries die.
Yeah, great game. I liked the outcome.
I'm just sorry you couldn't get a victory. It's all those lost paint points. All those painting points you didn't get.
I'm actually just disappointed in myself that I...
all your primaries and secondaries, you got all those, even your strange tertiaries.
Oh, wait, the strange... Should I keep doing those? Are they fun?
Oh, I would. Okay. I might adopt